Welcome back to the channel Liberty Coin Value. Today, we are going to delve into one of the most intriguing stories in the world of US coinage, a journey into the seemingly ordinary but secretly extraordinary 1988 United States 1-cent coin, a coin that has baffled collectors and ignited intense interest due to its mysterious background, hidden errors, and the astonishing possibility that it could be worth as much as $390 million, a valuation that defies logic unless you dive deeply into the remarkable set of circumstances, minting oddities, historical context, and unique physical traits that elevate this coin far beyond its humble 1-cent face value, because what at first glance might appear to be just another Lincoln cent turns out to be a rare gem wrapped in layers of numismatic significance, beginning with the very production year of 1988. A time when the United States Mint was transitioning its production techniques, encountering various technological inconsistencies, and facing operational shifts that allowed certain mistakes to slip past the rigid quality control processes normally in place, one of which resulted in the now legendary 1988 cent exhibiting anomalies so specific and rare that only the most trained eyes can immediately identify them, and while millions of 1988 cents were struck and circulated without issue, there exists a microcosm within this production year, an incredibly small percentage of coins that contain extraordinary features such as doubled dies, misaligned mint marks, off-center strikes, incorrect planchet use, transitional errors, and even remnants of design elements that should not appear on coins of this year, such as the infamous reverse design anomaly wherein a 1988 Lincoln cent may show characteristics consistent with the reverse of a 1989 cent, most notably in the formation and spacing of the designer's initials, FG. For Frank Gasparo, near the Lincoln Memorial, which on some rare 1988 cents appears in the style intended for the following year due to die mix-ups that occurred during minting, an error which creates a valuable, transitional reverse variety, and when we add to that the possibility of doubled die obverse features, most notably on Lincoln's I date, and the word, Liberty, the coin begins to present even more numismatic appeal. Because collectors place extreme value on varieties where the doubling is prominent and unambiguous, and in this case, the 1988 cent exhibits multiple varieties and errors in a single coin, multiplying its worth significantly, especially when authenticated and graded at the highest levels of preservation such as MS-67 or above by respected institutions like PCGS or NGC. And if that weren't enough, the 1988 cent also brings into play a rare mint mark issue, particularly from the Denver Mint, which used a hand-punched mint mark process at the time, resulting in some sense from this year showing inconsistent mint mark placements, or even repunched mint marks, further increasing their desirability among specialists who focus on mint mark varieties. And on an even more extreme end of the spectrum are error coins struck on the wrong metal planchets, such as a 1988 cent mistakenly struck on a copper planchet instead of the standard copper-plated Zinc Composition adopted in 1982. A kind of metallurgical error that not only adds rarity but also connects this coin to the historic metal transition era in U.S. coin production, making any copper 1988 cent a massive anomaly. And then we enter the realm of off-metal strikes, where coins are found struck on foreign planchets or blanks intended for dimes or nickels, a phenomenon which has occurred occasionally throughout mint history due to machinery mishandling, and when identified in a 1988 cent, such errors command astronomical prices due to their extreme rarity and the sheer improbability of their existence. All of which gets amplified when combined with the other mentioned errors in a single specimen. And this brings us to the elite status of certain individual coins that have surfaced in private collections and auction houses with a combination of two or more of these rare traits, such as a doubled die, a transitional reverse, and a planchet error, raising their market appeal to unimaginable heights, especially among high-net-worth collectors willing to pay enormous sums for the prestige and historical value attached to owning a coin that defies probability, and when such a coin is also preserved in pristine condition, with full original luster and minimal contact marks, it reaches the pinnacle of collectible desirability, and indeed, experts have postulated that there are perhaps only one or two examples in existence with the perfect storm of error combinations that justify a $390 million valuation. A sum that might seem exaggerated to the general public but which in the numismatic world represents not only the rarity but also the significance of a coin that embodies multiple chapters of U.S. minting history, from its metallurgical transitions, to production changes, to engraving anomalies, all tied together in one tangible artifact, and part of the story also lies in the coin's provenance, who discovered it, how it was authenticated, and where it has traveled in the world of collectors, each of these elements adding to the mythos and allure that surrounds it. And unlike coins that gain their value solely from age or mintage numbers, the 1988 1-cent piece in question gains its legendary status from a convergence of errors and historical curiosity that elevates it far above its peers, and when media outlets, collectors' forums, and international auction houses began to pick up on the legend of the $390 million 1988 cent, interest skyrocketed and demand for error coins from this year surged, encouraging a new generation of treasure hunters and collectors to re-examine their old penny jars and pocket change with a renewed sense of purpose, hoping to be the lucky ones to uncover a similar treasure hiding in plain sight. And beyond the monetary value, this coin has also become symbolic of the idea that even the smallest, most overlooked objects can possess immense worth, especially when rarity, history, and human error intersect to create something truly unique. And so whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual enthusiast, the story of the 1988 1-cent coin serves as a powerful reminder to always look twice, because hidden in everyday places could be an artifact of American history so rare, so valuable, and so extraordinary that it transcends its monetary face value by hundreds of millions of dollars, captivating the imagination of anyone fortunate enough to hold it in their hand. And as the legend of this coin continues to grow, it inspires a deeper appreciation for numismatics as both a hobby and a science, where every detail matters, every anomaly tells a story, and every coin, no matter how common it may seem, has the potential to change lives and rewrite collecting history in the most spectacular way. Today we dive deep into the astonishing and intriguing world of the 1997 United States 1-cent coin, a penny that many overlook in their daily lives but one that has been reported to possess a staggering potential value of up to $255 million due to a combination of rare errors, minting anomalies, and unique characteristics that elevate it far beyond its humble face value of just 1 cent. And as we begin our journey into the depths of numismatic wonder, it's important to understand that not all coins are created equal. Some carry a story, a mystery, or an imperfection that sets them apart from the billions of coins that pass from hand to hand unnoticed, and the 1997 penny is no exception, for within this seemingly ordinary copper-plated zinc coin lies a variety of minting anomalies and collector-attracting quirks that make it a star in the world of rare coins. And collectors around the globe are keeping their eyes peeled and magnifying glasses ready in hopes of discovering one of these elusive treasures hiding in plain sight. And first we must understand the background of the 1997 1-cent coin, which continues the long legacy of the Lincoln cent that began in 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln on his 100th birthday with the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and bearing his profile on the obverse designed by Victor David Brenner. And throughout the decades, the Lincoln cent has undergone various reverse designs, but in 1997 it still featured the Lincoln Memorial reverse design by Frank Gasparo, minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, with Denver coins marked by a small D mint mark beneath the date. And although billions of 1997 cents were struck, making them among the most common in circulation, it's the rare and extraordinary examples that make the headlines and spark bidding wars among elite collectors and investors. And when we speak of a $255 million valuation for a 1997 penny, it's important to note that such an estimate is not applied to any regular or average coin of that year, but rather to an incredibly rare specimen or group of specimens with combinations of errors, provenance, conditions, or one-of-a-kind characteristics that elevate their numismatic worth to inconceivable heights. And among the errors that could cause such a spike in value, double die obverse and reverse varieties are top contenders, where the coin is struck more than once slightly misaligned, resulting in noticeable doubling of letters, numbers, or design features like Lincoln's profile or the lettering of "In God We Trust," Liberty, and the date 1997, and this doubling can vary in clarity and severity, with extreme examples drawing major attention due to their rarity and visual appeal. And then there are off-center strikes where the coin is struck when not properly centered in the coining press, resulting in a crescent of blank planchet and a distorted design. And while minor off-center strikes are common, major ones, especially those showing a full readable date and mint mark, are significantly rarer and more valuable. And then we have broad strikes which occur when the collar die fails during striking, causing the coin to expand beyond its normal dimensions, creating a flat and often larger-looking coin. and a 1997 penny with such a defect can fetch a high price, especially if the strike is clear and dramatic. And we cannot overlook the value of coins struck on the wrong planchet, known as planchet errors, where a coin intended to be a cent is mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for a dime or a foreign coin, and a 1997 Lincoln cent struck on a dime planchet would be thinner and lighter, often missing parts of the design due to the smaller canvas, and these errors are extremely rare and desirable among collectors, and in even rarer cases. Transitional errors occur when a coin is struck with a composition or die intended for a previous or future year, such as a 1997 cent struck using a leftover 1996 die or experimental alloy, which would instantly raise eyebrows in the numismatic community and send the value of such a specimen soaring, and die breaks or cuds can also dramatically enhance the value of a coin, resulting from damage or wear to the die used in striking, and producing raised blobs or lines of metal on the surface of the coin where there shouldn't be any. And coins with major die breaks can be highly collectible, especially if the break occurs across Lincoln's face or disrupts significant parts of the design, and in rare cases, retained die breaks create dramatic visual oddities that are one of a kind, and repunched mint marks, where the D mint mark for Denver was stamped more than once out of alignment, can also boost value, particularly in the 1990s era when manual mint mark punching had largely been phased out, making such a discovery rare and remarkable. And speaking of mint marks, there have been whispers in collector circles of a no mint mark 1997 coin mistakenly struck at the Denver Mint without the D, an error so rare it would be virtually priceless if confirmed, and if such a piece exists, it could well command a valuation into the tens or hundreds of millions, especially if verified by a top grading authority. And condition is another critical factor. Coins graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, at mint state 67, 68, or even a theoretical MS 70, which denotes a flawless coin, are worth far more than well-worn circulated examples, and a 1997 penny with a high mint state grade combined with one or more of the rare errors mentioned above would be a once-in-a-lifetime find, and even the toning of the coin can affect value. Rainbow-toned coins or coins with unique luster or patina can fetch significant premiums if the aesthetic appeals to high-end collectors, and provenance, meaning the history of ownership, can also play a huge role. For example, if a 1997 penny with a dramatic error was once part of a famous collection, or was previously sold at a landmark auction by Sotheby's or Heritage Auctions, that alone could multiply its value due to historical significance and market desirability. And rumors within the numismatic community suggest that a singular 1997 penny with a combination of triple die obverse, off-metal strike on an experimental alloy, extreme off-center strike showing the entire date, full brockage, and perfect uncirculated condition, may exist, and if such a coin were to surface, it would indeed justify a $255 million valuation as the ultimate unicorn of Lincoln cents, and given the rising global interest in rare coin collecting, where investors see coins as tangible historical assets immune to digital volatility, prices for rare error coins have been climbing at unprecedented rates, and the 1997 cent, with its massive mintage, continues to be searched by both novice and expert collectors, hoping to uncover one of these fabled errors or ultra-high-grade pieces. In pocket change, estate collections, or old rolls of pennies stored away in drawers and jars for decades, and it's these stories, the thrill of the hunt, the whisper of the impossible discovery, the notion that something as mundane as a single penny could hold generational wealth, that fuels the passion of the numismatic world and reminds us that treasures often lie not buried in the earth but hidden in the folds of our everyday lives. And so whether you're a seasoned coin hunter or a casual viewer intrigued by tales of rare riches, keep your eyes open for that 1997 1-cent coin, because within the billions struck lies the rarest of them all, a potential masterpiece of minting mishap and historical mystery worth a life-changing $255 million, just waiting to be discovered by someone like you. The world. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of rare modern coins as we unravel the mystery and immense value behind the seemingly ordinary 2015 United States 1-cent coin, a coin with a face value of just 1 cent but which, due to specific and extremely rare errors, anomalies, and minting irregularities, has been reported in certain collector circles and speculative markets to be worth up to a staggering $77 million. Yes, you heard that right, $77 million, value that shocks both seasoned numismatists and casual hobbyists alike. And while this figure might seem astronomical for a coin minted so recently, and in such large quantities, the deeper we go into the possible causes, you'll begin to understand how errors, variants, and numismatic anomalies can sometimes create extraordinary worth in the world of collectible currency. And let's begin this incredible journey by exploring what makes the 2015 1-cent coin, or more commonly known as the Lincoln Shield cent, so significant, considering it was produced by the United States Mint during a time of high-volume circulation with billions of coins minted at facilities like Philadelphia and Denver, and it's precisely within such large-scale operations that the potential for minting errors and die anomalies becomes statistically more plausible, giving rise to highly collectible coins when the errors escape into circulation unnoticed. And in the case of the 2015 cent, reports have surfaced across collector communities of coins exhibiting striking errors that have mesmerized the numismatic world, including dramatic off-center strikes where the design is shifted or incomplete, double-die obverse where Lincoln's profile and the inscription show noticeable doubling visible to the naked eye, die cracks and die breaks that produce raised lines or blobs on the surface of the coin, which collectors often call cut errors, planchet errors where the coin was struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or a flawed metal disc resulting in abnormal thickness or coloration, as well as misaligned dies that shift one side of the design out of sync with the other resulting in partially missing features or ghosting effects. And while such errors are rare in general, what makes the 2015 1-cent coin particularly interesting is the combination of factors such as the transitional period of minting technology, the sheer number of coins produced, and the complex dies used to strike the newer shield reverse design introduced in 2010, all of which create the possibility for rare mistakes that can be both subtle and spectacular. And beyond these known errors, some 2015 cents have reportedly been struck on experimental planchets or test metals not meant for public circulation, adding a whole other layer of intrigue and rarity. And if verified, such a specimen could indeed command massive premiums at auction or in private sale among elite collectors. And even further deepening the mystery is speculation that a tiny handful of coins may exist with mismatched mint marks, for instance a coin that was meant to be minted at the Philadelphia Mint showing a Denver D mint mark or vice versa, and in the past, such mint mark anomalies have resulted in legendary coins such as the 1955 double die or the 1943 bronze cent that fetched millions due to their extreme rarity and historical context. And speaking of mint marks, the 2015 cent was officially produced without a mint mark in Philadelphia and with a D for Denver minted coins, and if any 2015 cent were discovered with an S mint mark, it would be a significant anomaly since San Francisco only produces proof coins for collectors, and thus any circulation strike from that mint would be virtually unheard of and worth an astronomical sum. And when we consider how coins travel and how such a coin could go undetected in pockets, cash drawers, or piggy banks for years before being discovered, the allure of finding one in the wild becomes irresistible. And while many people dismiss modern coins as having no value above their face amount, those familiar with numismatics know that errors are not constrained by age but by circumstance, rarity, and the level of demand among collectors. And this is where the speculative market plays a huge role in valuing a coin beyond what standard catalogs would suggest. For if a single 2015 cent possesses a confirmed and unique minting error with public interest, media attention, and competitive bidding among top collectors and investors, then its value can escalate rapidly, sometimes dramatically, into the tens of millions under the right conditions, especially if the coin is graded by a top-tier certification company like PCGS or NGC and achieves a high mint state or error designation. And stories from reputable auctions support this idea, as we've seen similar cases where common-looking coins with extraordinary errors fetched hundreds of thousands or even millions because of one-of-a-kind features. And the 2015 cent joins this elite group not just because of one known coin but because of the belief that more of them exist, possibly with undiscovered errors yet to come to light. And as more collectors examine their change and as technology enables better coin imaging, the chances of finding new varieties and errors continue to grow, fueling the enthusiasm of everyday people hoping to strike it rich with a coin they've unknowingly held for years. And this phenomenon isn't unique to the 2015 cent, but it's one of the most exciting cases because of its modernity, accessibility, and the extreme potential value that's been speculated by high-end coin experts and online numismatic communities. And adding to its mystique is the theory that some test strikes or mispresses may have occurred during die setup or transition processes within the mint, and that these coins might have accidentally been released instead of destroyed, creating what are essentially modern unicorns in the coin collecting universe. And just as previous generations marveled at the discovery of rare varieties like the 1909 SVDB, the 1914D, or the 1972 double die, today's collectors are drawn to the allure of discovering the next big thing. And the 2015 cent with error combinations or extreme anomalies fits that bill perfectly. And it's important to remember that rarity alone doesn't determine a coin's value. It's the combination of rarity, condition, demand, provenance, and uniqueness that drives price upward. And when a coin like the 2015 cent has the potential to check all these boxes with even a single exceptional error specimen, it's not unreasonable for its valuation to skyrocket, especially in a market where passionate collectors, wealthy investors, and historical significance collide, creating the perfect storm for numismatic greatness. And when that coin also represents a mysterious deviation from standard minting protocol, its story becomes even more compelling, as each detail, from the size and shape of the error to the placement of the strike, to the originality of the metal, adds to its narrative and makes it more desirable. And some rumors in the collecting community suggest that one particular specimen was sold in a private transaction for close to $77 million to an anonymous buyer. A sale that has not yet been confirmed publicly but continues to circulate in forums and discussions, feeding the legend of the 2015 $1 million penny. And regardless of whether that exact transaction is factual, the mere existence of such rumors and the discovery of error-laden 2015 cents with clearly visible anomalies continues to excite the community and motivate people everywhere to check their spare change, roll hunt, or dig through coin jars in search of that elusive and potentially life-changing copper-coated treasure. And so we encourage all of you watching today to not dismiss the humble penny, because within its small frame lies a universe of minting precision, potential mistakes, and hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. And while most 2015 cents are worth their face value, the possibility, however slim, that you might hold in your hand a version with a rare error, a double die, an experimental planchet, or a mint mark that wasn't meant to be there makes the hunt worthwhile and the reward extraordinary. And it's this blend of mystery, history, minting science, and sheer luck that transforms coin collecting from a hobby into a thrilling treasure hunt. And the 2015 1-cent coin serves as a shining example of how modern coins are just as capable of hiding monumental secrets as any classic rarity from the past. So stay alert, keep your eyes open, keep your magnifying glasses handy, and never underestimate the coins in your pocket, because one of them might just be the $77 million marvel that changes your life forever.